Imagine that in one of the world's most sensitive energy choke points, where millions of barrels of oil pass through every day, a completely new kind of war suddenly begins. A war fought not with massive warships and heavy missiles, but with hundreds of small, intelligent, and coordinated drones. This scenario is no longer science fiction. The rapid advancement of artificial intelligence and drone technology is reshaping the rules of maritime security and turning the world's strategic straits into testing grounds for a new generation of warfare. In such an environment, superiority no longer belongs only to the side with the largest fleet, but to the one that can better harness AI, speed, and collective coordination. The Strait of Hormuz is one of the most critical arteries of the global economy. A significant portion of the world's energy exports flows through this narrow passage, and any disruption there can shock global markets. For decades, security in this region relied on the presence of heavy warships, escorted tankers, and advanced defensive systems. However, low-cost asymmetric threats have gradually revealed how vulnerable this traditional model can be. When a multi-billion-dollar system must defend against threats that cost only a few $1,000s to produce, the economic and tactical balance is severely challenged.
In this context, AI-driven drone swarms have emerged as a game-changing force. These swarms consist of large numbers of small drones, each equipped with sensors, processors, and independent decision-making algorithms. They communicate with one another through a distributed network and share information in real time. The result is a collective system capable of identifying targets, adjusting attack paths, and reacting to enemy countermeasures without direct human control. The true power of these systems lies in their swarm intelligence. Just as a flock of birds or a school of fish can perform complex synchronized movements without a central leader, drones in a swarm exhibit highly advanced collective behavior by following simple but intelligent rules. If part of the swarm is destroyed or loses communication, the remaining units rapidly reorganize themselves. This self-healing capability makes it extremely difficult to disable the entire system.
From an economic perspective, this technology creates a serious imbalance. Defending against a swarm attack often requires the use of expensive missiles and defensive platforms. Each interceptor missile can cost hundreds of thousands or even millions of dollars, while an attacking drone may be worth only a fraction of that amount. In a saturation attack, the defender is forced to expend costly resources at a rapid pace, while the attacker can maintain pressure at a much lower expense. Drone swarms can also overwhelm radar and fire control systems. These systems are typically designed to track a limited number of targets, but when confronted with dozens or hundreds of small, fast objects, their effectiveness declines. Under such conditions, decision-making becomes a critical challenge. Crews must prioritize targets, allocate defensive resources, and respond to multiple threats within extremely short timeframes. The psychological pressure of this situation increases the likelihood of human error.
The tactics used in swarm attacks are equally sophisticated. Some drones may act as decoys, drawing the attention of defensive systems, while another group approaches the target from a different angle. Constant changes in altitude, speed, and trajectory make interception more difficult. Even if a large portion of the swarm is destroyed, a small number of surviving drones can still cause significant damage. The geopolitical consequences of this transformation are far-reaching. Access to drone and AI technology is relatively easier than building large conventional naval fleets. This enables smaller actors, both state and non-state, to enhance their deterrence capabilities. In a dense and high-tension environment, the risk of misunderstanding and unintended escalation increases. A mistaken strike or an excessive response could trigger a chain of events that is difficult to control.
At the same time, any threat to maritime security in such a region directly affects global energy markets. Increased security risks can raise insurance and transportation costs, ultimately leading to higher oil and commodity prices. Shipping companies may be forced to reconsider their routes and security protocols, while governments must invest more heavily in protecting sea lanes. In response to these emerging threats, the future of maritime security is moving toward layered and automated defense systems. The use of AI for rapid threat detection, directed energy weapons such as lasers for cost-effective engagement of multiple targets, and advanced sensor networks are all part of this evolution. The objective is to minimize the time between detection and engagement and to reduce dependence on human decision-making during critical moments.
Simultaneously, a global race is underway to develop defensive artificial intelligence. As offensive systems become more intelligent, defensive platforms must be able to anticipate attack patterns and respond proactively. This competition is likely to drive rapid innovation that will fundamentally reshape naval warfare in the coming decades. The impact of swarm technology will not be limited to a single region. From protecting strategic ports to controlling international shipping routes, many nations will be compelled to revise their military doctrines. Maritime superiority will no longer depend solely on the number of ships and submarines, but increasingly on the ability to integrate autonomous systems, information networks, and artificial intelligence. Ultimately, we are entering an era in which the boundary between humans and machines on the battlefield is becoming increasingly blurred. Drone swarms are one visible expression of this profound transformation, a transformation that influences not only military tactics, but also the world's economic and political dynamics. Understanding this trend is essential for anticipating the future of global security. Thank you sincerely for staying with us until the end of this video. If you found this analysis useful and engaging, please like the video and subscribe to the channel to support us in continuing to produce more in-depth content in this field.